Hey guys, my name is Sledge, and today in this video we're going to take a look at some of the strange game design decisions Psyonix has made over the years. So this isn't going to be about bugs or glitches, but instead is going to focus on intentional choices and changes to the game that didn't really make sense to the player base. Now a few of these could have some possible explanations I'm going to go over, though these will be my own opinions and don't really make the choices any less questionable. At least it might help you understand what the developers might have been thinking at the time. This video is brought to you by Raycon Shadow Legends. Wait. No, that's not right. Anyways, make sure you check out my link to get 15% off your Raycon wireless earbuds. Alright, let's get started. Our first weird game design decision is camera shake. Pretty much since the game came out, turning off camera shake is one of the first things every new player is recommended to do, and sometimes they even figure it out by themselves. Now that may raise the question, how did a universally disliked default feature like this even make it into the game at all? Well, I think there's a couple reasons we can't be too hard on Psyonix for this one. First of all, we need to remember that Rocket League's predecessor was supersonic acrobatic rocket-powered battle cars, an arcadey PS3 game that had very prominent camera shake. Thus, it makes sense that the same feature would be added to the sequel. The second reason I would suggest is that Psyonix didn't realize the type of game Rocket League would become. In an interview with IGN, Psyonix dev Corey Davis once pointed out that they never anticipated the level of control that players would have, and seeing people carrying the ball on their nose like a dolphin really shocked them all. Yes, the precision and skilled maneuvers that Rocket League gravitated towards ended up not really working well with the disruptive arcade feel of camera shake. I think the most surprising thing about camera shake is that despite its overwhelming rejection by the community, it continued to be an unchanged default setting until March 2020. In the March update, several settings were altered, and while camera shake is still on by default, its intensity has been reduced, and as you can see in this recent clip, it's actually almost bearable now. Our next questionable design decision didn't even last a week, and it's definitely one of those what the hell were they thinking moments. If you played the game in 2016, you may recall the experimental Rocket Labs playlist, where Psyonix released low-textured, non-standard maps to be tested by players. On December 7th, 2016, Rocket Labs was retired, and the maps were moved right into casual. Picture yourself jumping into a game to warm up for ranked and seeing this. On December 12th, just 5 days later, the lab arenas were removed. According to Psyonix, this was because they were appearing too frequently, but personally I suspect it also had a lot to do with community backlash and the amount of people that were leaving games whenever those maps came up. Number 5 is a lot more recent and still a common complaint from the player base. In December 2019, the ability to purchase premium DLC cars such as the Skyline, DeLorean, and Batmobile was removed as part of the Blueprint and Item Shop update. Psyonix indicated that premium DLC may return to the item shop sometime in the future, but here we are over 7 months later and we still haven't seen them. My personal explanation for this change comes down to money. Premium DLC would not have meshed well with the item shop pricing model. Unpainted car bodies are currently 500 credits, or about $5, whereas DLC cars used to be only $2. I see this as Psyonix letting enough time pass for us to accept the new prices, and we'll eventually see the return of DLC cars at these now higher prices. This will also depend on new deals being negotiated with the rights holders, and maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I can't see any other reason we haven't seen DLC cars back in the shop yet. Okay, now we're going to go back to the first year of Rocket League, which I actually made a video about, so if you'd like to know more about the history of the game and its early days, make sure you check that out. Cosmetics have always been a large part of Rocket League, and even at launch, the game boasted 10 billion possible combinations. Yet, curiously, no option to save your car setup was offered when the game came out. Yes, we had only one preset for over a year, until finally, in September 2016, this was upgraded to 10, as well as giving us the option to equip different items to each team. Eventually, presets were increased to 50 in July 2017. Number 3 always makes people's list of things Psyonix needs to fix, but let's look at this from a different angle. Voice chat in Rocket League has been in its current broken state since launch. That's 5 years. So the questionable decision here is if they're not going to fix it, why the heck do we still have it?
Guys, GG's. Yo! Oh, I understood that. What's up?
The other interesting design choice in regards to voice chat is the fact that by default, it is set to allow all. Meaning as a new player that tries to use voice chat, I am unknowingly allowing the opponent to hear my comms and also leaving a channel open for them to talk back to me. While the low quality of voice chat may mean these issues aren't that big of a deal, I still don't think it's a good idea to put your new players in that situation. Points and demolitions is always an interesting topic. First of all, you'll get the people that are sure demos used to give points. Either it was an alpha, beta, or even Season 1 and Season 2. The discussion also usually includes the explanation points were removed because Psyonix didn't want to incentivize demoing. Now, to put these claims to rest, I went back and looked at a lot of old Rocket League videos, and I have been able to confirm that neither Season 1 nor the beta gave points for Demolitions. As for alpha, well, even if I was able to find a demo in some alpha footage, it wouldn't really help because point values didn't seem to appear on the screen for any stats. Whether or not Psyonix did make a change after alpha to discourage demo hunting, which I also didn't find an official statement about, I find it very interesting that since launch, an extermination gives 20 points. Now, it doesn't really fit the whole discourage demoing narrative when you're giving points for getting 7 of them in a game. On top of that, I also think it's a weird game design decision because 20 points for 7 demos is way too low. I mean, come on Psyonix, 20 points for demoing at 14 times the rate of an average player? You gotta give me more than that. I could probably tack on some other older point giving stats to this section as well. To those of you that would be worried that 10-point demos would make players chase them, I want you to remember that Psyonix used to give 10 points for every time you did this to the ball. And I never saw anyone spamming bicycle kicks for points, except for that rare time you were trying to steal MVP from your friend in the last seconds of the game. Number 1 is weird when it comes to comparing Rocket League with other games, and I would definitely say there's positives and negatives to this decision to keep Rocket League mostly the same. Now, usually games need to change in order to stay relevant and both gain and retain players. This could be major updates and DLC, or rotating themes on a season-by-season basis. But Rocket League at its core is not that type of game. As a skill-based sport, it is important that the rules and mechanics are mostly static so as not to disrupt a player's progress and growth. Think of what would happen if competitive Rocket League suddenly doubled the field size or added a triple jump. Yes, this game's strength is its unchanging gameplay, but from a development standpoint, that is a very strange game design choice to make. Also, from a creator point of view, there's some negatives to this as well. By the way guys, in case you didn't notice, I'm a content creator. If you're still here, you might want to think about hitting that sub button. It's true that Rocket League is a hard game to make content for, as it's mostly the same game it was 5 years ago. This could also be a downside for casual players that want to see new modes and ideas introduced to Rocket League. While Psyonix has tried to add little things to spice up the game and bring new life to it, you have to recognize that the player base has continued to make it clear that the main thing they care about is standard Rocket League. You only have to look at the amount of players in the extra modes playlist to confirm this. But I do agree that Psyonix has some improvements to make in this regard. There's still a lot of potential for creativity and growth in Rocket League without changing the base game. And the devs know this too. To paraphrase their comments from Sunless's recent video, you don't want to be changing the rules of a sport, but the surrounding features and what we can do with them in the future is really exciting. I hope you enjoyed this look into some weird game design features of Rocket League. If you can think of any I missed, let me know in the comments below. My name is Rocket Sledge. Thanks for watching.